I'm just sitting here in front of the fire. Watching YouTube. It's 12:33 at night. So I have discovered today. Do you guys watch Woodward TV? You should watch Woodward TV. Did I show you the title? It's called Geoengineering. What you need to know about this freak weather.
Oh, how convenient is it to keep everyone in their homes at this stage in the election game? Listen, they can create the rain and stop the rain. They can create the snow and stop the snow. They can make it hot, they can make it cold. They can, they will, and they do.
They do.
This snow, it's like the snow they make at ski resorts. Have you noticed that? Do you guys want to know how I know that this weather is likely manufactured?
Because it's not heavy snow.
Well, we are going to get into that in a moment. Just understand that the media lies about everything, especially the future.
Love this intro song. Should have just been a little bit longer.
So you guys want to know how I know that this weather is a product of geoengineering? Well, the answer to that can be found at Lake Michigan. The ice balls came back. It's called chemical ice nucleation.
Chemical ice nucleation.
This is a process of chemical induction to form ice crystals in a substance, typically a liquid. And they use this process for weather modification, artificial snow production that you may often see at select ski resorts, snow machines, and cryopreservation. In this context of weather modification, we are talking about chemical ice nucleation to influence precipitation. By dispersing ice nucleating agents into the clouds, the particles serve as a nuclei for the formation of ice crystals. Then these crystals grow into larger ice particles and eventually fall as precipitation, snow or rain. Chemical ice nucleation is commonly used. Ski resorts or winter sports facilities may use substances like silver iodide or other ice nucleating agents to initiate the freezing of water droplets in their snowmaking machines. In cryopreservation, they are trying to preserve biological tissues or cells at a very low temperature, and ice nucleating agents can be used to control the formation of ice crystals during the freezing process so that they can minimize damage to the cells or tissues. Do you know what their explanation for ice balls in Lake Michigan is?
They're masturbating the earth.
The water took the slushy ice and swished and sloshed it around until it formed ice balls. They really think we are that stupid. Actually, here, take a look at this. Bowling mermaids, or how do beach ice balls form? The editor, Journal of Glaciology, Sir, river lake and sea ice appears in many forms and structures, reflecting the variety of conditions under which it is formed. The River Weser estuary, located on the North Sea coast in northern Germany, has rarely been the stage for ice formation in the past few decades. For this reason, it was very exciting for members of the glaciology section at the Alfred Wegener Institute for Polar and Marine Research in Bremerhaven to observe strange ice features just a stone's throw away from the Institute on the sandy Weser beach in the first week of January 2003. Numerous ice balls were located at the uppermost tidal line. The total number was estimated to be around 500. They were aligned in several rows, with the uppermost rows being partly buried in thin ice platelets. Although they were the size of footballs, they were relatively lightweight and fragile. When some of them were smashed, they were seen to consist of two layers. The core was made up of clear ice or frozen slush, while sediment-rich solid ice formed the outer shell. First ideas about their provenance included hail of abnormal size washed ashore, or the leftovers of an epic snowball fight. Others were of the opinion that mermaids must have been at play in the cold weather, bowling at the shore.
That's crazy.
So, if you go and read the rest of this abstract, they go into very fine detail about how they cut these things open and took measurements. And they vividly explain the formation of the ice balls. And to their credit, everything sounds fairly accurate.
It's going good.
But they are still having a hard time understanding the phenomena because they missed something. When these ice balls start to take formation, it's snowing at the time.
They look like
and
aliens.
So the snow that fell from the upper atmosphere was likely contaminated with nucleating agents, which explains why these ice balls are all so similar in formation, because the nucleus of these ice balls started off the same as some type of chemical crystal formation. Now, this is not just my theory. There are others who think this is the case as well. Now, what I'm about to tell you next, and what I'm about to show you, I really don't want anyone to be alarmed, but I am concerned. So, I am just going to tell you what I did and what I found, okay? And this really is the whole point of this presentation. Now, I was curious if the precipitation from this snowfall was contaminated. I am right now in New York State, but I'm nowhere near New York City. Now, I knew that if I took snow samples, I wouldn't have a way to identify any chemical contamination, but I took samples of freshly fallen snow, about 8 or 9 samples actually, and placed these samples under my microscope.
Are you guys ready for this?
First at 10 times the magnification and then 40 times the magnification. When you have a microscope slide, depending on where you get your slides, they already have some debris on them.
You know,
so you have to clean the slides first. I'm not in a vacuum lab. So I did that. I looked at the clean slides, and there was very little to no debris on the slides, if any. You just see white or sometimes tiny fragments of glass from the slides, but very, very few particles, if any. Now, immediately after cleaning the slides, one by one, examining the slides, I then went outside and took samples of the snow directly to the slides. The snow melted on the slides, and in every single drop of snow, in every sample that I took without exception, the snow was loaded with debris.
Ew.
Which under visual inspection I could only identify as
jealous.
Microplastic fibers and fragments
Oh, I thought he was gonna say
in every sample. taken from different locations outside.
More gellins.
Now, microplastics are generally defined as plastic particles that are less than 5 millimeters in size.
My God, what for?
There are several ways in which snow can become contaminated with microplastics. You have atmospheric deposition, where the microplastics can be transported through the air and deposited onto snow surfaces. They can originate from various sources, including urban areas, industrial facilities, and even marine environments. Atmospheric deposition can carry microplastics over long distances before settling into snow-covered surfaces. Of course, in this case, it seems to be already in the snow,
Ew.
not just floating in the air to settle on the snow. You see? Microplastics may be present in water bodies, and when snow melts or during rainfall, these particles can be washed into the snow.
They're putting
Contaminated
plastic
runoff from nearby
cubes
areas such as streets,
children's
landfills, or rivers can
snow.
contribute to the presence of microplastics in the snow, but that is not the case here. Human activities such as littering and improper waste disposal can introduce microplastics directly into the environment. For example, plastic debris left on the ground can be picked up by snow, leading to contamination, and that's not the case here. Now, once microplastics are present in the snow, they can have several environmental impacts. As the snow melts, the microplastics are released into the surrounding environment, including water bodies, soil, and the ecosystem. These particles pose a risk to wildlife, as they are often ingested or accumulate in organisms, potentially causing harm. It contaminates the water and vegetation. The animals, chickens, cows, pigs, humans, the animals get this into their bodies. It gets on the vegetation, and I don't know if it can just be washed off. So we eat the vegetation and animals that come from the Midwest and central U.S., various places around the country. Folks, this stuff is getting into our bodies. There is no doubt about that. And look, this is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Those of you who are into science or are scientists, or those who are familiar with microscopy, let me know what you think after looking at these images. Those of you who have microscopes yourselves and can take a look at some samples in your area, let me know what you find. In the meantime, folks, share this with as many people as you can, because it is better to be safe than sorry. The last thing we need is a bunch of people getting sick after this storm, and the lunatics in the media calling it a new pandemic disease that just popped up out of nowhere.
Oh, damn it.
When their illness may be a side effect of people being exposed to this contaminated snow. You guys let me know what you think. That's all for now, but I will return soon with more updates and reports. Until then, everyone just protect yourselves, your kids, and your pets. Take a look into this, and as always, stay awake, stay aware, stay safe, and I'll talk to you all soon.
Not enough people know to fight about it. Like and subscribe. Do it.